close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in to Daytona International Speedway. It's night 2 of FEG-PC Speedweek. Thank you all for coming out. Drivers getting ready to qualify. Payouts get bigger as the week goes. It's going to be a bigger payout tonight. Everybody getting those last-minute practice pit stops, fuel mileage numbers in. Looks like we already got a lot of people tuning in here tonight. If it's anything like last night, as BB said, we are in for a treat. That is for sure. I had to sprint over here from a soccer game I was just at, so I do apologize if I sound a little winded off the start, but I'm excited. I'm going to have some newcomers tonight, some returners. We'll see if Dylan Jones, winner of last night's race, if he's in here, and if he is, can he go back-to-back? And I do see Dylan in here now, currently not out on track, but he's going to have the chance. He still could go for the sweep, almost kind of hoping that he gets it done, but that's going to wrap up practice right there. And for qualifying tonight, we got something special for you. It is going to be heat races. And excuse me, I meant to say that did not wrap up practice. We just had a couple guys hop off the track. But we do have heat races tonight. That is going to how the qualifying grid is going to line up. And there is prizes for first and second place in each heat. Heat 1, $25 to first and second place. Heat 2 is $25 to first and second place. And I'll tell you what, that's a double bonus. If you can get the win on either heat, not only are you going to be starting on the pole of either lane for the race tonight, but you are also going to be guaranteed to go home with some money. Get your entry fee back early if you can. That is what a lot of these drivers are going to be trying to do. Got a little group out here. Looks like it's being led by Ken McCall Jr., Jason Maines. Doug Pierce is in it, 87. Raymond Rittenauer the second. John Ward. 7 minutes of practice left. I believe. Oh, they are crashing in practice. Hopefully we don't see that in the race. A lot of good-looking paint schemes, though, out tonight. David Sheets, one of the McCall Motorsports drivers, did get a new paint scheme. And we will be excited to show that off. Not sure if we will have to wait until the race or not. Now, actually, you see him on pit road here. Take a look at this beautiful 06 Transmedic paint scheme if we can see it here. David going to roll off now, get a couple laps in. And who do you guys think is going to win tonight? Not sure who to put my money on. I was talking to Ken after the race and a couple of the other McCall Motorsports drivers. They sounded hungry. They didn't really like the way some of their nights ended. Autumn Koger did come home second. Or third, excuse me. Daniel Eberhardt actually came home second. So Dylan Jones, Daniel Eberhardt, they have got it clicking right now. And we are still setting up just a couple last-minute things for all the drivers here. One of the things we do ask everyone before Speed Weeks is I send out a thing and I say if there's anything special you guys would like on your driver bio, please let me know, and I will be more than happy to put it on there. Did not really hear much from anybody except one person. So, for example, if you were curious about it, you see here how on David Sheets, he's got his hometown, McCall Motorsports, pretty filled out. We'll go to a driver, one of the newer drivers here, such as, let's see, go to Danny Barnes. Danny, not a new driver, but you see how it just says NASCAR Xfinity Series. It looks like Duck says, where's Ambrose Cable? He is here. You better believe it. Driver out of Gold Bar, Washington. Always a fan favorite. We'll see if Ambrose Knievel can get it done tonight. Figured we'd start the stream a little bit earlier tonight as we had that little bit of issue last night. Wanted to make sure we didn't have any of that. That way we could get in here and see how everybody's doing before all these drivers get going. Going to be a longer night tonight. Just gets better as the week goes on. We're going to have to run this a couple different times. But we'll start it off early by letting everybody know tomorrow is the big race of them all to end Speed Weeks. It's going to be a $4,800. Take that in. That's over almost $5,000, ladies and gentlemen, going to be paid out to your top 15. And that is that's over a quarter of the field, I do believe. So that's a lot of money and a lot of paid positions. Thankfully, I will be in that race thanks to a generous donor. Already saw him out on track, looking at him now, but you will catch me in that race tomorrow. Just get yourself in there if you're not in it now. Go back live to Daytona, though. Looks like Yeehaw27 says, what about the number 7, Scott? Is he any good? Is this Steven Scott Jr. that you're talking about? If it is, he is definitely very good. I saw Steven, I think it was when I saw him in his first race. I'm trying to remember what series. I don't remember if it was the trucks or what. But he did not have any teammates that I know of, and he was up there putting it to all the veterans like it was nothing. So I would not by any means, I'd put my money all over this 7 car. Strong driver. Got some Tony Cox fans in the chat as well. Had a rough night last night. Not of his doing. Broke the suspension in a crash early. Had to bring it down pit road. Couldn't recover, but he's got a fresh sheet tonight. See what he gets done. A lot of this pack that we see right here is most of the guys you'll see working together tonight. Ambrose Knievel hooking onto the back from these Xfinity cars. I think a lot of drivers like them more than the ARCA series. Not sure if we will have quite as big of a field as we had last night, but it is certainly going to be close. As I see just almost 30 drivers right now, and we haven't even started the race yet. So another great field tonight. Practice should be starting to wrap up. We'll pull the tower back up for you right now. Raymond Rittenauer II taking the top on the speed chart. Looks like he may have ran a 47.50 if I'm reading that right. That's a fast lap. Got some Ken McCall Jr. fans in here tonight. Got to root for my team. McCall Motorsports. I'll be out there with them tomorrow. Hoping. We talked to Ken and Chad Ross, Team 3 leader, and then McCall Motorsports leader. Yesterday before the pre-race show, you heard what they had to say about how much Speedweek means to them, how much teamwork means to them. And that's going to be very important tonight. Ambrose Knievel is blinking. Oh my goodness, hopefully he can fix this before the race. That is going to be brutal. Definitely got a mix of fans tonight. Haven't seen this much of a mix from you guys in a while. Good to see. I see Nash Brambilla. Looks like maybe Chad Ross fan too. Oh, good to see. If John Mullahan looks like he is in here tonight, so Chad Ross will have one of his drafting buddies. Not sure if there's any other Team 3 drivers yet or not. We will know once we get started. I'm actually going to check this real quick if I can. See who's in here on this side of it. I see Bryant Newingham. We saw him last night. Looking for Dylan Jones. I know I saw him in here. I believe I saw him in here at least. Pop all these new drivers in the list. Every time we get a new one, we got to add them all to the list. And it looks like, yeah, a lot of returning guys. We had a lot of new drivers yesterday. Today it's a little bit more calm. Everybody get settled in. I think some of those wrecks we saw from just people not being used to each other last night won't be a problem tonight. We'll see a lot better green flag racing. About a minute left here in practice. Has Steven Scott Jr. got any wins? I am not sure, Yeehaw. I have not from any races that I have been broadcasting for FEG. However, I'm not sure in general if he has gotten one. Would not be surprised if he has. One of the cool things about these money racing is it's such a wide skill range of a field. And a lot of that can get evened out with the draft here. So we see Road to Pro drivers such as Jason Main. You see it on the side, the paint scheme, Elliott Sadler Esports. And then we got drivers who are just out here racing for hobby, trying to get themselves some money. Got a nice fair shot at it. Taking a look here. This is a cool looking paint scheme. Brandon Arcerio, if I am pronouncing that right. It looks like it is a Hoonigan paint scheme. And that is going to be honoring Ken Block, who unfortunately did pass away earlier this year. Legacy in the motorsports industry. If you guys are just joining in, we're about to go heat racing. Let your friends, let your family know. I know sometimes qualifying may not be the most exciting thing, but tonight it is because there's money on the line. Remember, in these heat races, there's no 3 wide rule, no cautions. So we will see these guys getting spread out 3 abreast throughout the field, probably on the first lap. But that does end practice. Let's see what the lineup is looking like for the first heat race here. I think it is random the way it sets it up. A little interesting. I thought you'd almost think maybe it would take the fastest laps from practice, but it doesn't. Either way, though, starting on pole for Heat 1 is going to be Danny Barnes. Second, Kyler Wynn. Third is going to be Christopher McCall. Fourth, Steven Scott Jr. Fifth, Ken McCall Jr. Sixth, Mark Vondell. Seventh, Bryant Newingham. Eighth, Sean Lazone, and he was a good driver last night. Stayed up front. Keep your eye on him. Ninth, William H. Scott Jr. 10th looks like it is going to be, I think that's Briar LaPrade. Briar LaPrade looks like 12th is John Ward, another McCall Motorsports driver. 13th, John Mullihan, first team 3 driver in the field. Nash Brambilla, 14th. And rounding out Heat 1 and 15th, another team 3 driver and owner, Chad Ross. That's how it's going to get kicked off here for Heat 1. We will try to talk with the winner after it's all said and done for Heat 1. But you can do that math. If we have 15 in Heat 1, there is 2 heats. 15 times 2 gives you 30. And as of right now, that would be your size for the field tonight. Strong field. Don't sleep on that size of a field, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to pull up the ticker for the heat race. We will make sure we have the tower up for the main one. These will be real short. You see it there. Going to be a 5-lap shootout. And Kyler Wynn, I think he's going to be in all 3 races this week. But Danny Barnes going to be starting first. Didn't see too much action out of Danny last night. Got to think he's looking to change that around here tonight. And have Kyler Wynn to his outside. Ken McCall Jr. Looks like he does have a couple teammates. And Christopher McCall did not make it out on track. We got a couple of these drivers that didn't. TJ Roberts is sitting on pit road, and Christopher McCall is also sitting on pit road right now. Chad Ross, the last car in the field, so it looks like it is going to be a race between 14 cars for now. And that was a 16th driver that did sneak in TJ Roberts. So that is going to increase it to either 31 or 32 drivers tonight. We're getting ready to go green here. Kind of like a real mini version of the duels. And we're going to watch these guys get up to speed. They're going to come flying at you here through the tribal. Green flag is out in Heat 1. We're racing at Daytona. Drivers all getting through the gears. That outside, and Kyler Wynn got a huge jump. The inside's going to have to try to fight back. Steven Scott Jr. now moves to the inside. Kyler Wynn can't quite block in time. Here they come. Roaring off of turn 2 for the first time tonight. Now the outside fades. Not the trend you usually see. That inside is usually the one that has to fend off the momentum that first time down the backstretch. Not the case. The 7, Steven Scott Jr., you were asking if you want to put his money on him. There you go. Gets out in front. Didn't even start on the first row. Here he is leading before we even take the first lap. Here in Heat 1, Mark Vondell in that 59 car. Second car on the outside line. He's looking to have a good night tonight. Looks strong early. Lap 1 is going to go to the 7. It looks like, actually, Kyler Wynn, I think, just edged him out right at the line. And we will now roll it. Tell you what, ticker doesn't seem to really want to work, so we are not going to bother it right now. Just anger it. We'll keep the tower on for everybody. You see the first 3 wide move a little further back. Looks like it might be no, I think that's Mark Vondell, actually. Yeah, because he's falling back now. He's going to see if he can find his teammate in Ken McCall Jr. Let's see on the track map here. Yeah, it looks like a couple of the guys that started back did make it out. TJ Roberts not on track. Christopher McCall is. Unfortunately, he's not going to have a shot at it unless somehow everybody piles up. If you're in this front pack, though, you sure do have a shot at it. 3 laps to go here in Heat 1. Haven't seen much 3-wide action just yet. I think that'll change before too long. Kyler Wynn found his way to the lead car on that inside. He's got to be feeling pretty comfortable with Steven Scott on his bumper. Riding on board here The Nash Brambilla, driver out of Plymouth, Minnesota, says, "Show me the money." He is certainly looking to get that money this week. Over $7 grand worth of money going to be handed out by FEG-PC throughout these 3 races. Remember, there will be one more tomorrow night in the Truck Series. The big one, kind of what everybody's getting prepared for. I think we will probably see a sold-out field for that. Wouldn't be a surprise by any means. The 19 starts to edge out further back. The 3 car is going to take it 3 wide. Oh, they're wrecking out back. It's going to collect John Mullihan and a bunch of other guys. Huge crash. Remember, no cautions, though. John Mullihan looks like he may have got the worst of it. Mark Von Dell also got it pretty bad. Let's go back up front. Remember, no cautions, though, in the heats. Kyler Wynn still leading to his outside. He's got Briar LaPrade, excuse me. Nash Brambilla, we'll see what he does. Decides to take it 3 wide. If he does, will he get any help from Brandon? Danny Barnes. Oh, here we go. First 3 wide move into the trial with a 43. Jumps to the outside. He's got help from Ken McCall Jr. That's a good pusher to have behind you. And it looks like, oh, he almost got clear into turn 1. That would have been absolutely insane. You usually don't see it get done with just 2 cars like that. The bottom and the middle have 3 cars. Ken's going to have to push with everything he's got if he wants a chance at it. Oh, we got a couple going in the wall on the back. The 43 gets into the wall. Ken McCall Jr. is going to sneak around, and this is not over yet. They're going to have one more chance at Kyler Wynn if they want it. What does the 7 decide to do here? Out of turn 4. 7's got the draft, but the 20 is pulling a bigger draft. Danny Barnes, does he pull out a line? No, it's Nash Brambilla. Now the 7 goes to the outside. Into the trial, though, no competition. Kyler Wynn's going to win Heat 1. Good move from the 7, just a little too late. And your winner of race 1 is going to be Kyler Wynn. Oh, and he absolutely ramps that thing into the turn 1 wall. I'm not sure how he even hit a bump that big on this track. That was something different. That was some pretty good action, though, for Heat 1. Everybody keeping it nice and clean. But I want to take a ride on board with Kyler Wynn here to end this. If we can, it may actually cut us off here before we get it. Watch this ride he takes for a celebratory victory right here. Luckily, all drivers did climb from their cars in that incident right there. That was brutal. Let's go back live, though, where Heat 1 is finishing up. Drivers for Heat 2 are making their way to the track from the garage now. We did put a poll. We asked you guys, would Dylan Jones go back-to-back? Looks like we must not have a lot of Dylan Jones fan out, as 100% of you did say no. I don't know. I think he might be able to do it. He does have his teammate, Daniel Eberhardt. Those guys are really strong, really fast. I would not bet against them. Flagman finally puts the flag away. He's getting ready to go now. I don't think that we will be able to get a word, unfortunately, with Kyler Wynn. I'm going to check here real quick before we get started for Heat 2, but I don't think that he actually does stay in the Discord channels. Check here. And let's see. I don't, yeah, I'm not seeing Kyler, so won't be able to get an interview with him there. We'll go back live, though, here. And we are going to run a quick ad while everybody's lining up. Then we'll get to the grid because I have to grab something. I'll be right back. Stick with us. live here. We are back live here at Daytona International Speedway. Did have to take a quick break. We're back. We'll get this grid off real quick before everybody goes green. Starting first, your winner of last night's race, Dylan Jones. Second, Jason Maines. Third, Ambrose Kniebel. To his outside, David Sheets. Row 3 is going to be Sean Corbett and Tony Cox. 7th, Danny Eshelman. 8th, looks like it is going to be Mike Davenport. 9th, Raymond Ritnar the second. 10 is going to be, it looks like that's Joel Blewett. 11th is going to be Dean Grob. 12th, Daniel Eberhardt the third. 13th is going to go to, looks like that might be Dean Grob. Yeah, sorry, 13th was Dean Grob. I apologize. 14th, Jeff Merck. And 15th, Autumn Koger. Pace car making his way off turn 4. Who is going to win Heat 2? I think I like Dylan Jones' chances. He's got a ton of momentum, but he does have a strong Road to Pro driver, and Jason Maines to his outside. Green flag is back out. We're green for Heat 2 at Daytona. This time it's a much more even restart as they come flying to you, but we already see 3 wide further back, and Daniel Eberhardt wasting no time making his way to the front with only 5 laps to go. Had one driver miss the start. That looks like it might be Ambrose Kniebel. Looks like he's having a couple internet issues, trying to get it sorted out before the race. But already you see Daniel Eberhardt charge on the outside. He's got a couple drivers behind him. Autumn Koger, and this might be, you see Tony Cox here in the middle. And they have already made their way all the way to the front. Actually gets clear. How about that move from Daniel Eberhardt being pushed by Jeff Merck? Gets to the front. I think he's going to hold on to it. Dylan Jones, maybe a little bamboozled, if you will, about what happened. But, oh, they're wrecking farther back here. Oh, this is going to collect a bunch of them. Oh, no, Dylan Jones is in at the 11. Hard hits out back. Got guys spinning through the grass. Not what we saw in Heat 1. Big wreck here. It's going to be over for all these drivers. We'll go back up front where the race is still on. Looks like it is going to be between 3 cars at the moment. Look, that last car, I think that's Jeff Merck, may have stayed just in the draft if he did. Oh, yeah, he did. I think he's got a couple cars behind him, too. Don't know if they're quite going to be able to stay in it. But Daniel Eberhardt, Jason Maines, David Sheets, they are all going to stay nice, tucked up together and tight until we get to the checkered, or the white flag, actually. And then I think we'll see Jason Maines maybe pull out at the end. Although, I don't know, because first and second are guaranteed $25, and I think that's why we're going to see David Sheets maybe try to make a move early. I think if you're David right now, maybe you try to fall back, pick up Jeff Merck. Because with the top 2 getting the same amount of money, I don't think Jason Maines wants to go anywhere. He will stick to that 90s bumper unless he has to fend off a move. Got a couple Tony fans in here. Unfortunately, you saw Tony get taken out in this wreck. Don't worry, it's not going to affect him. He's still in the race. He won't have any damage in the race. Currently 6th in this heat. That would put him starting 12th, I believe, on the outside for the race. Jeff Merck looks like he's barely hanging on. We can actually see here based off the gap. Jeff Merck 1.2 back, still falling. If he can just hold on to it. Still falling. I don't think he's quite in it. 2 laps to go. David Sheets. Oh, I think you see David doing it now. David's a real smart driver. He knows what he's doing. The only reason you don't see him up on that bumper is he knows he's going to need help from Jeff Merck to have a chance. Jeff Merck not quite able to catch up just yet, though. Now it starts to close a little bit. And he might pull the draft. Ooh, and this lap car could also play a role. This 55. He gets back on track in between everybody. This is going to help Jeff Merck out big time. It's not over yet. Watch this last lap. Ron Morris in the chat says, go McCall Motorsports. That's right. McCall Motorsports driver himself. Getting it done in the RC community right now. We miss you, Ron. We hope to see you back here next week. White flag is out. Who's going to get it here in Heat 2? Jeff Merck. I don't know if he's close enough. He's got the gap down to 1.09 seconds. David Sheets going to have to set up a run sooner or later, though, if he wants a chance at it. If he times it right, he might be able to just get past Jason Maines coming to the line, but it's going to be really close. Down the backstretch, though, for the final time. And you see the closing distance here. That 06, I think maybe he should have sat back a little longer, but we'll see if Jason Maines decides to make a move. Oh, he does. He pulls high. Didn't expect this. Jason Maines goes to the high side. David Sheets says, thank you very much. I will take this second place. Jeff Merck starts to get a pull, but it's not going to matter. Oh, and I think Daniel Eberhardt maybe laying on the brake a little bit. Couldn't tell. But either way, he gets the win. Little surprised. I thought for sure that David and Jason would go right by it. Or, yeah, that David and Daniel would just be able to go right by there, but they didn't. So that gives Heat 2 win to Daniel Eberhardt, second to Jason Maines. Let's go back and ride on board here with the finish for your winner. This is coming into the tribal here. So Jason's already made the move, so we'll actually back this up a bit more. Oh, and unfortunately it did cut us off because we are getting ready to start the main event. Drivers are going to have a 5-minute warm-up period. All you viewers at home, this is your chance to go get a break. Once that 5 minutes up, we will get started. Some of these guys will take advantage of it. Some of them won't. You can't really do too much in 5 minutes. Maybe run a lap or two. But we can display those results one more time for everybody for Heat 1 and 2 while we are waiting. And you see it. Kyler Wynn, winner of Heat 1. Steven Scott Jr. got second. Heat 2 went to Daniel Eberhardt the third. Second was Jason Maines. And you see Mr. Jeffrey Ford in here himself letting you guys know top 2 in each heat did get paid. And I think this is where maybe a little strategy came into those heats. Got to think Daniel, Jason, and David all felt pretty good about their chances when they saw everybody pile up behind them in that second heat. The first one had a lot of strong racing, though. You see a couple guys practicing, getting ready for the race. It looks like it is going to be Danny Eshelman and John Mullihan. Team 3, Chad Ross, we saw up here last night. John Mullihan made his way up a couple times, had a brilliant save where he went through the grass at about 200. Maybe that's a little I don't know, exaggerated if you will. But either way, sliding through the grass on his way to turn 3, somehow kept it together. And it looks like in front of him there, Danny Eshelman is blinking hard. Hopefully Danny can get that fixed before the race starts. Raymond Rittenauer the second. TJ Roberts looks like might be out on track. We'll take a look at him. This was one of the drivers that snuck in here a little bit late. Didn't get to really do much in the heat because of that. But that's the driver out of Kaufman, Texas. Get You Some Motorsports CNC Esports. It's a pretty cool name right there. About 2 minutes and 45 seconds left here in the warm-up. And then the fireworks are going to really come to life. A lot of big field tonight, just about the same size as last night. Maybe a handful less. Doesn't mean the aggression level is going to change, though, at all. If you are liking what you're seeing tonight, you can watch some more of it tomorrow. Unfortunately, we will not be doing it here at Ghost Racing Network, but more than happy to hand it off to Joe White over at OSR Network. He does a great job. He's on YouTube. Go check him out. That is where all the action will be. Tomorrow night I will be in the race. Trying to get it done over there with McCall Motorsports. Get your picks in the chat. Who do you guys think is going to win? I think I definitely could see a bet on Dylan Jones tonight. Either way, I'd like to see McCall Motorsports get a good finish, but that is because I'm biased. Can't hate on me for it. We have had a lot of anticipation up to Speed Week, and so far it has not disappointed. We've seen big races, big audiences. Got Jeremy Osborne in the chat. Jeremy, I thought you would be out here tonight. Usually see that 41 out on track, but it doesn't look like I see him tonight. Jeff Merck, Jason Maines, 87, Raymond Rittenauer the second. I think these three will be teammates tonight. Have seen Jason work with Raymond Rittenauer a couple times. And I think with Matthew Baker And Garrett Main's not being present tonight. That is who Jason is going to try to tandem up with. Those three. Pit stop's going to be very important tonight. Don't forget about those. If you mess up on your pit stop, you are going to be in a lot of trouble. Especially if we have green flag pit stops. There will be a competition caution on lap 30. And you see Jeff putting it there. If you want to get yourself involved on the money racing action, we got the link to FEG's Discord in the description below. Press on it. You can get in, get involved. Speed weeks, a little bit more of the higher price races. But weekly races, very affordable. Win yourself some extra money. Why not? We can show you the time here. We should just about be wrapping it up though here. You see it, 7 seconds left. Looks like Steven Scott Jr. is going to top the board for warm-up times. And that is going to end it as you see them practicing their pit stop right there. Making sure they are ready to go. White flag in the air though. Someone says Team 3, where you at? They are in here. It's Chad Ross and John Mullihan holding down the fort tonight. Unless there's one that I missed, but I don't believe there is. As the drivers get ready to grid up here, we'll read your starting grid once they do indeed get on the track. Don't forget that the winners, the top two rather, in heats 1 and 2 did get paid. It would have been $25. That might have scaled just a little bit either way. They did get paid. It was Daniel Eberhardt III and Jason Maines in heat 2. Heat 1, Kyler Wynn and Steven Scott Jr. Already starting their night off good. That'll get them some momentum for the later going. It looks like they have just now made their way onto pit road, getting ready to go green. So we will read your starting grid tonight. I did want to note, actually we can go ahead and save. We can save that for after the starting grid. On the pole for the second race of FEG-PC Speedweek, it's going to go to Kyler Wynn in the 82 car to his outside. Winner of Heat 2, Daniel Eberhardt III. Second row is going to be made up by Steven Scott Jr. in third and Jason Maines in fourth. Danny Barnes fifth to his outside. David Sheets, that's the first McCall Motorsports driver in the field tonight. Seventh, Nash Brambilla. And rounding out row 4 and 8th is going to be Jeff Merck. 9th is going to go to Briar LaPrade. 10th, Doug Pierce. 11th, Ken McCall Jr., another McCall Motorsports driver. 12th, Tony Cox. He's got a lot of fans in here tonight. 13th, Bryant Newingham. 14th, Raymond Ritnar II, usually a fast qualifier with heats tonight. Didn't quite get the chance. 15th is going to go to Brandon Arciero. 16th, Dean Grob. 17th, William H. Scott Jr. to his outside, Mike Davenport. Rounding out row 10, 19th, John Warden to his outside. Looks like Joel Blewett. 21st, Sean Lazone. 22nd, Danny Eshelman. 23rd, Christopher McCall. 24th, Dylan Jones, winner of last night's race. 25th, Chad Ross, Team 3 driver. 26th, Autumn Koger, McCall Motorsports driver. Just behind Chad Ross is his teammate in 27th, John Mullihan. 28th, Sean Corbett. 29th, Mark Von Dell. 30th, Ambrose Kniebel. And rounding out the field for a 31-car field is going to be TJ Roberts in the 11 car. Let's take a look at your race info tonight. You know where we're at, the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. Big 2.5 mile super speedway. Heavy banking in the corners, over 30 degrees. Wind not going to be a factor tonight. Clear skies. It's going to be a 65 lap race, 100% fuel. And it looks like we may not be going green this time. Actually, we are. Kyler Wynn did have to fall to the back. It's the FEG-PC 163. Green flag is out. The 7th, Steven Scott Jr. gets a big start. So, yeah, a couple drivers falling to the back there. Mixed us up just a little bit. David Sheets drops to the inside, and that may be actually what the rule was. I think if you were over a certain I rating, you could still compete in the heats for the money. However, you did have to fall to the back for the start. Some drivers maybe even had to start in the pits. I'm not sure. Outside, fading quickly, though. Jeff Merck up there. He's only got help right now from Nash Brambilla, and as they roar down the backstretch for the first time, that outside lane actually holding their own pretty good with only 2 cars. Roaring by the Gopher Cam. One of my favorite cameras of all time. Who's going to lead lap 1? Jeff Merck was able to take the lead. Jumps back up high. Going to try to control the lanes. As they come flying by the first time, the outside lane's going to get it. Jeff Merck is going to lead lap 1. And we didn't get to talk about everything in terms of payouts, but important to note there is going to be a competition caution on lap 30. These cars can make it that long without pitting with the fuel they have in them. So this is going to be a sprint to lap 30. You'll get the competition caution, then we'll do it again for 35 more laps. And they should be able to go all the way, so green flag pit stops may actually not be a factor tonight. Either way, it is going to be a top 8 payout. Initially, it was going to be a $1,600 payout tonight. That does scale a little bit. We can do the math later in this race for you to let you know what the winner will be walking home with. It was based off 40 drivers. We did get 31 here tonight. Still not bad by any leaps or bounds. Jeff Merck, though, controlling the field right now from the outside line. Usually we'll see that guy on the top drop low when he gets it. Not the case right now. You see Ken McCall Jr., third car back, already up here. Last night he decided to hang back. Not the case tonight. David Sheets in that new paint scheme is pushing the 7 of Steven Scott Jr., who we talked about before race. You guys asked if he's strong. Here's your answer. He's leading this pack on the bottom. Jeff Merck looks like he's thinking about dropping low. Nash Brambilla probably going to need to cool that thing off sooner or later. How long does he decide to ride around on the top lane? Momentum usually does favor the top, but the bottom is usually safer if you want to miss any wrecks. Mark Vondel looks like is currently the last car right now in 31st. Nobody has gone a lap down, so nobody missed the start. That's good to see. It looks like the winner of tonight is going to be going home with about $233. That is a huge prize. All the other payout positions will scale as well. But if I'm in here, I got my eyes on the biggest prize of it all, over $200. Remember, not only are you making a lot of money here during Speed Weeks, you're moving yourself up in the battle for the PC at the end of 2023. Top 10 most earning drivers are going to battle for a PC. Right now, that battle was being led by Jason Maines. Last time I checked, I'm sure it has changed. Dylan Jones doing himself a lot of favors recently. May have taken the top spot back. But Jeff Merck still holding down the field. Let's take a look a little farther back throughout this field. We will pull up the track map to see how spread out they all are right now. And you see it, everybody all together in the top right. Kind of one big pack right now. As this race goes on, we will see thinning of the herd. Mark Vondel sitting back right now in that 59 car, just playing it safe. No need to get aggressive right now. In front of him, Briar LaPrade. Daniel Eberhardt had to fall back, so he's going to sit back here with his teammate Dylan Jones. And I'll tell you what, I think they are working with Kyler Wynn. That is their teammate at times. I don't know if they kind of broke off from each other or what. They might help each other tonight. Here's two more teammates. John Mullihan and Chad Ross, Team 3. William H. Scott Jr. Looking a little farther up. Jason Maines, Ambrose Kniebel, Raymond Rittenauer II, Autumn Koger. But your top 5 right now is being rounded out by Danny Barnes, Dean Grob. Those two fighting for it. Go back up front, though. Take a look from the blimp cam, and you can see just how big this field is up front. There was a 3-wide rule for the first couple laps. That's been off, and I'm a little surprised we haven't seen anybody making a little bit more aggressive moves so far. Seems to be the case sometimes, but not the case so far tonight. Just as I say that, the 87, or the 11 rather, excuse me, they have a similar paint scheme. He tried to jump out of line, didn't get any help. That was TJ Roberts. Wasn't really up front in his heat race at all, but he's made his way up here pretty quickly. 66, Sean Corbett, just in front of him. And we do have a new lead car on the inside. David Sheets, the 7, has moved to the back bumper. Those two almost switching places, and that's a good-looking paint scheme on the 06. Beautiful Transmetic paint scheme for David Sheets. And now the inside starting to show a little bit of an advantage. It was that outside lane early, and you will still see him get ahead on the straightaways, but not quite the dominance from Jeff Merck that we saw at the start. He was holding pretty much a car length around the entire track. And we'll see if when he gets clear this time he decides to drop down low. You see Nashper and Billa pushing all the way until they get to the corner. Usually you can't really push in the corners here. If you're real smooth, you can kind of bump. But if you try to lock on to the bumper of that driver in front of you, we saw it a lot last night. Caused a lot of big wrecks, big pileups that could have been avoided. Good news for everybody, though, is these do push a lot smoother than the trucks. The truck's very aero dependent. If you get just a little off center, they get all out of whack. You can really, really push with a lot of force in these cars. Kind of brings into the factor more of bump drafting instead of having to nice and smoothly lock on. The field is actually starting to spread out. I think what we might see, oh wow, big spread from the field here. Wow, I'm not sure. Oh, we had a little bit of an incident here. I must have missed something because I see it here on the side of my stats. Let's go see what happened. We had a couple drivers involved. And this looks like it may have started with Autumn Koger, so a lot of single file action here. Let's see where this starts. Play it slow for you here. This was the first driver it showed for me, at least, that went off track. You see her already out of the throttle. Can we see anything? Oh, she dives down on the travel here. Oh, it looks like there's checking up farther up. And she just, oh no. Oh, actually, yep, up here. Finally gonna see it. Where does that start? We're gonna have to go farther up. And it looks like, is that Jason Maines maybe? Let's see if we can get, I think this may have had Jason Maines involved. Trying to figure this one out is just not really sure where exactly it started. Oh, it's going to start somewhere in this area. Let's watch again. They're all getting tight. Oh, the 66 is going to come down into the 20. That's where this starts. 66 with Sean Corbett comes back up. The 11. Yeah, and they're going to start wrecking here. Jason Maines. So that's what Autumn was going on the apron for. Remember, caution didn't come out for this. Take note of all this. This is surprising. Remember, it is iRacing cautions. And we do have one car still spinning. The 66 is on track, hitting the wall. Not sure why iRacing wouldn't throw the caution. But yeah, a bunch of guys all scattering to miss it. He is still on the racetrack. Somebody sneaks by. Oh, he does come down and hit Autumn Koger. That looks like the 167. And then John Mullihan gets sent back up to the track. So they are still wrecking at this point. iRacing just... Guys up in the tower for iRacing not really watching what's going on, but let's go back live now as I know we've been away for a little while. But had to figure out what exactly happened there, so this splits the field up. Thankfully, this is what Jeff puts the competition caution in for, events like this. And while unfortunately some of those drivers will have to use their fast repair, they're not out of this race. They're going to try to avoid going a lap down. Unfortunately for Sean Corbett, he has already went a lap down. So has John Mullihan, so they're going to be fighting for that lucky dog. Back up front, though, now you see it, your current top five. Jeff Merck first, David Sheets second, third, Steven Scott Jr., fourth, Danny Barnes, and fifth, Dean Grob. McGiblets in the chat says, did anyone watch 24 Hours of the Daytona last weekend? Yeah, it was some certainly good racing. Don't know if I can say it's as good of racing as these guys are going to put on, though, tonight. Remember, a lot of people trying to survive to the competition caution for reasons like we just saw right there. Don't want to get involved in a wreck early and mess your whole race up. But if I can find him, and he looks like, yeah, you see him right here. I want to give this guy a shout out. Joel Blewett just barely snuck through that last wreck. Keeping himself in position. Got a little bit of casual racing. I don't think we'll see too much aggression up here. I think these guys will stay too wide, at least until we get close to that competition caution. We're just about halfway to it. Remember, it falls at the end of lap 30. Well, actually, it would come, I guess, maybe on the beginning of lap 30. We'll see if Jeff lets us know. And actually, a little bit of 3 wide there towards the middle. They tuck back in line. Sean Lazone, I was looking for him. Driver who was really strong last night. Don't see him so far. Oh, yep. Looks like he does have damage on that 3 car. Ooh, the back end of that thing is really beat up. Looks like he backed into a pole on both ends of it. But up front, still side by side. These two kind of going at it, and I like what I see here. Not too much aggression, just two drivers kind of switching spots, everybody getting a feel for it. This will help them later in the race. Let me tell you something, those first 60 laps are all about gaining experience and practice. Those last 5 are about getting yourself to the front, and if nothing else, to the top 8. Get some money. Ken McCall Jr., he was able to stay out of trouble in that first wreck. Here he is running in the 03 car. Behind him, he's got his teammate, John Ward. Those two had found some chemistry the last couple of weeks. Don't get me wrong, McCall Motorsports works good in general. But those two had been bumper to tail for a couple races, pushing each other to some wins. And David Sheets, who we saw bring home a second-place finish in that first PGR race a couple nights ago, he's been strong since then. Up front, and if he gets clear right here, I think we'll see him maybe jump to the high side. Can't quite do it. We have completed 16 laps so far here tonight. Wanted to do a crank it up around this time, but we're going to save it when we get the rest of the field together after that competition caution. Seems like a better time to do it. One of my favorite things about broadcasting at Daytona is we get more camera angles. Talladega, just don't get quite as many. We might be getting some new camera angles soon. In general, spotter cam gives you a good feel. This is good to look at towards the end of this race, when those runs really start to become a factor. Oh, the 23, 3 wide. He got really close to the 18's right rear. You always get a little scared when you see that in the corner. If he bumps him, those two are going hard up into the wall. Let's take a look at some of the speeds we are seeing in this front draft. You can see it in the bottom right, 188. Speeds approaching 190. When you really get a run farther back, you can get up to 195 in these cars. We were running a bit higher speeds last night in the ARCA series. Yeah, and you kind of see it back here. And I'll tell you what, this second group, I may have forgot about them a little bit, I'm not going to lie, just because I thought so many of them got involved. But Daniel Eberhardt making sure you don't forget about him. He's getting a really nice push from Briar LaPrade. Kyler Wynn also in this line. They are catching. Here, Briar LaPrade, $7,000 over iRating. That would explain a lot. Really, really good driver in the 19. But we are going to watch this gap, and I'll keep an eye on it to let you know how quick they start closing it up. We can take a look at some of the lap times here. Let's actually look at the lap times for Daniel Eberhardt. This is the last 4 laps. It looks, yeah, 4 or 5 laps rather, excuse me. And you see on lap 17, he ran a 47.4. Let's compare this to the leaders. Dean Grob currently, and there's a lot more racing. The 7 gets shuffled back 3 wide through the middle. And those lap times just about a second slower. And that's all you need to know. They are coming real quick. How quick can they get there before the competition caution? Once they get in the draft, it'll be lights out. They are still pretty good ways back. But we'll pull up the track map until they get here. And currently the gap sits from the leader here, Dean Grob, who is a new leader tonight, so let's give him a shout out actually. That Jeff Gordon looking 6 car. Driver out of New Jersey. But I was going to say, it looks like back to Daniel Eberhardt. The gap is currently 5 seconds, and it is closing. And yeah, the gap is really closing in pretty quick. Wow, and it actually is already almost down to 4.5 seconds. So this back group is flying, and you see why. A lot more lined up. They don't want to race right now. Their goal is to catch this lead pack. Jason Maines now takes the lead. Just a lot of racing going on up here. 10 laps before the competition caution. Jeff, I know you are in the chat. If you can, let us know. I know the competition caution is lap 30. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the end of lap 30 or at the beginning. But you guys see Jeff in the chat. If you can, for everybody watching, it helps us out a lot. If you like what you're seeing, just hit that thumbs up button. Lets me know you guys are enjoying it. If I'm not seeing the likes, I'll try to change it. But if you like what you see, let me know. Bryce also let y'all know earlier how close we are to 400 subscribers. It means a lot to us, every single one of you that follow. So if you are new and it's not too hard for you, please do hit that subscribe button. Back up front. Oh, we got one off. That's Danny Eshelman. He's going back in a hurry. What happened to the 11? Went off track. I haven't been able to find him. He has fallen back quick, though. Oh, we have a huge wreck up front. I was looking at my stat sheet, but this one collects a bunch of them. Kyler wins in it. Chad Ross, Team 3 driver. Oh, no. First caution of the night. Didn't make it to the competition caution. Oh, and Kyler Wynn has absolutely destroyed. The 167's in it. William H. Scott Jr., Christopher McCall, Chad Ross starts to roll. Wow, let's go see what happened here. Oh, and this might have been something from Danny Eshelman's. No, looks like Danny went down and hit the wall. This is what first caught my eye. And I apologize for the slow reaction here, but I was looking in the stats to try to get to Danny to see what happened. So first, let's take a look at Danny. I'm not sure if he ends up getting involved in this, but this could be a wheel disconnect or something. I'm not sure. But he took a hard turn off the track. Oh, and just slams this inside wall. Oh, no, yeah, and then comes right back up into traffic. Oh, no. Oh, huge wreck. Wow. I'm not even sure what to think on this one. Obviously, Danny had to have had some sort of technical issue. What in the world? This is going to probably be the craziest thing that I have seen since I've been broadcasting. Let's ride on board and see if we can get some clue of what happens here. He's riding through the trial. We'll back it up even more. This one has me confused. Let's see here. And you see his hands locked, and his hands still haven't moved. That wheel has turned the same amount. So that makes me think he must have had some sort of wheel issue. Because, yeah, his hands never moved. The throttle also never seemed to let off. So just really, really bizarre. If anyone has any info on what happened there, please let us know. We'll try to get some insight on it after the race, but this collects a lot of drivers. Let's see when everybody arrives on the scene. We'll watch Kyler Wynn here. Let's go to him because he got maybe the worst of it. And let's look for this. So this group was running really fast, catching up. They probably had no idea what was going on here. Probably didn't expect it. We'll speed it up here until we get. You see the 11 down there. Yeah, probably out of their eyesight. And now some of these front guys, you see all the fire coming out of the back pipes. That's everybody checking up, noticing it. Unfortunately, though, some of them, yeah, you see, just couldn't check up in time. The 19, Breyer does have to jump out of line. Makes contact. Kyler Wynn can't quite get it wound up. It's going to spin it. Now overcorrects. Slams hard into the back of the 11. The 72. Oh, no. Tony Cox was having a good night catching up. Oh, unfortunately, he's involved in it. Chad Ross, Christopher McCall. Dylan Jones maybe snuck by on the bottom. Let's back it up and see if he does. Oh, yeah, sure enough. You saw Dylan Jones get real conservative. Gets way out of it early. Just burping the throttle. Oh, and he just snuck by. Nice job of the driver, the 26. Let's go back live now. And that is one of those wild things. Kind of reminds me a little bit of when Juan Pablo Montoya hit the jet dryer. Just so unexpected, you don't even know what to say. That is this incident. Not really sure, but first place currently being held by Steven Scott Jr. Looking good. Second, Ken McCall Jr., McCall Motorsports driver having a strong night. Third, Jason Maines. Fourth, Nash Brambilla. And rounding out the top 5 is Ambrose Kniebel. That is going to put a couple more drivers a lap down. Autumn Koger currently looks like she does get the lucky dog. Driver out of Asheville going to get that lap back. It looks like out of all that chaos currently, we only have 2 drivers a lap down, and that's going to be Sean Corbett, Danny Eshelman, who may have retired from the race after that issue. was going to say, I don't know that we'll necessarily see pit stops yet because they wouldn't be good to make it to the end. Whereas if they wait until we get the competition caution, they will be. It's looking like that's what a lot of them are deciding to do here. Tony Cox, looks like he did get that car repaired. Not sure. I'm thinking he may have had to use a fast repair. Unfortunate, but he is good for now. He's just going to have to be a little extra careful tonight. Kyler Wynn, definitely a driver who had to use a fast repair. That thing is tore up, or was tore up rather. Cleaned up now, but he is also going to have to be careful. Might be sitting back towards the end until the end of this race. Pace car lights are off. That means we are going green this time around. Steven Scott Jr. We'll see if he can hold him off for another 7 laps. Ken McCall Jr. going to try to steal it. Ken doesn't really have any of his teammates around just yet. John Ward a couple rows back. See what happens. There will still be the 3 wide rule in play. That will go off before we get to the competition caution. Pace car rolls off. Green flag is back out. Steven Scott Jr. gets him rolling. Jason Maines did not get a good restart. Ken McCall Jr. is going to jump right in line. And I think before we reach this competition caution, while everybody's getting up to speed, now's a good time to do a speed week. Crank it up. Here we go. And that is going to do it for tonight's segment of Crank It Up. I hope everybody did enjoy that. You see, we got word from the race admin himself. Equipment went haywire for Danny. Kind of figured, looked really weird when we looked at it on board. Either way, let's talk about what's going on up front. We're going to see our first 3 wide move from the 17. That's Joel Blewett. 3 wide, 2 now in the middle. 317, Brandon Arciero, excuse me. 60 of Jeff Merkdo leading the charge with Jason Maines behind him. And I think once we get to lap 29 or 30, we are going to see a lot of guys try to pit before the competition caution flies. I did mix Joel Blewett up with William H. Scott earlier, so I do apologize for that. William was the driver that had the nice near miss in one of the earlier crashes we had that kept himself from having to waste a fast repair. Sometimes these guys' paint schemes, as nice as they are, can get you a little confused. They all have a number under it. The outside now being led by Ken McCall Jr. Nash Brambilla trying to push him to the front. We will zoom out on the next lap to see if we see any pit stops. Everybody keeps it out on track this time. You see further back, they've kind of gapped it out a little bit. Everybody, I think maybe a little bit more on their toes now. Not going to be as aggressive. The pack all still together, though. Everybody in the draft. As long as you can stay in that draft, you can stay as far back as you want. The draft, the big equalizer here at these plate tracks. Everybody stays tucked in line. You see them kind of snaking around just a little bit down the back stretch. Not as hard of pushing right now as we will see later. People getting used to it, and we see some moments of it. But at the end of this thing, those cars are going to be moving around a lot more in the back end. People will not be letting off. All right, here we go. Let's see if anybody decides to pit this time and gain track position. Sure enough, it looks like Dylan Jones is going to pull off. He's going to get his teammate to go with him. Daniel Eberhardt, Kyler Wynn also goes in. Brian LaPrade. Got to wonder if Briar, excuse me. I apologize for saying that. But I will say they all got in cleanly. We'll have to see if anyone else does decide to go in next time. Caution is out. Oh no, what happened here? Looking for it. Don't see it yet. Not seeing anything from. Oh, this. I'm silly. I knew this was the competition caution. For some reason, I thought it would come out at the end of this lap, so I started to kind of question it. Yes, this is the competition caution, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of it is going to be Jeff Merck in the 60 car. Everybody who did not pit that time will guaranteeably come down pit road right here. Get themselves some fresh tires. Fuel up. I think, trying to think what I think we'll see right here is if this group farther back, and we can actually go to them, which contain Daniel Eberhardt. And these four got out about as in sync as you possibly could. Be interesting to see if they do decide to pit again here. You wouldn't necessarily think so. But sometimes they throw you for a loop, as that 19 of Briar LaPrade has a little bit of damage on the back end. And he might decide to go in just to get it fixed. Doesn't look like any kind of damage that would be affecting him. Let's check real quick. We're going to take a quick break to see if we can go find Jeff Merck. I'll let you know in just a sec. All right, we are back at Daytona International Speedway. I could not find Jeff Merck, but even better, I found the man who's been doing pretty good all night. Stayed in the top 5 for most of it. Saw him very competitive in Heat 1, and that would be Steven Scott Jr. Steven, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, when we first joined, we had a couple people asking in the chat about you. They said, would they put your money on you? Well, certainly so far from what we've seen, I think anybody would put their money down on you tonight. You are looking good in the 7 car. How are you getting it done so far?
Yes, sir. So far it's doing pretty good. Right before the caution come, I'm hoping I don't have any damage because the 18 car that I was pushing on the inside blew his motor going into turn 1. So hoping I don't have any damage from that. But other than that, though, it seems like it's still doing pretty good.
Yeah, and we're actually looking at your car now. It looks like you got just a little bit of damage on the left front and a little bit on your rear. Doesn't seem to have affected you so far tonight. You have been fast. I want to wish you the best of luck, though, buddy, for the rest of it. Try to finish it off. Hopefully we're talking to you at the end of this thing.
Yes, sir. I hope so, too. Thank you.
You're too good, Am.
Thank you. All right. We're going to let him go here real quick as the pace car does turn his lights off so he can get back to driving. Steven Scott Jr., though, what a nice guy there. First time being interviewed here. He seemed pretty excited about it. Always good to hear. We try to get as many new drivers as we can. I know from when I've been racing, and we're going to turn the sound on for you guys real quick right here. You see. Wish there was a button for it. There we go. Good to go. remember when I would do some of these races, always liked, turn that down as well, always liked to have a chance to be interviewed at some point or another. If nothing else, at least give these guys a shout out. We certainly try. A little bit more difficult when we have these big fields like tonight. But restarting your top 5 is going to be Ken McCall Jr. first, second, Nash Brambilla third, Steven Scott Jr. We just talked to him. Fourth, Danny Barnes, and fifth, John Ward. I did hear him saying about the 18 blew up. That would be Jason Maines. Very rare mistake. Let's take a look really, really quick at it. Not something you would see from all people from Jason. Trying to back this thing up as quick as we can. We already blew it up here, so it must have happened in turn 1. This is not, I don't think what the caution did come out for, but play it real quick. Oh, there it goes. You heard him try to maybe let off. Just too little, too late, though. Jason Maines going to have to use a faster pro on that one. Going to hurt his chances tonight. Let's see where he fell back to. Oh, he is currently a lap, if not 2 laps down from it. Pace car pulls off. Ken McCall Jr. takes the green flag. We are just over halfway through this race. No more pit stops. The race is on from here. Remember, no 3 wide for these first couple of laps. Now's your chance. Get all the positions you can, because once they go 3 wide, you're stuck where you're at. Clogs up a lot quicker here at Daytona than Talladega. A little bit less wide. You got to be careful with your moves. Out of turn 2 for the first time. Ken McCall Jr. out in front, getting a good push from Steven Scott. We'll see if that outside lane can generate any momentum. You can see it there. The 20 locks on. That's Danny Barnes. Really gets Nash up there, but when he falls back just for a split second, I'll tell you what, you see now on the 7. Didn't notice it as much when we talked to him. That back end is pretty banged up. Really banged up, if you will. 92 John Ward, maybe thinking twice about getting too close to it. Does not seem to be affecting him, though, in this draft there. He is able to hang on Ken McCall Jr.'s bumper with no issues. Usually you want to have damage in the back if you're going to have any. The air hits the nose. Usually doesn't affect you too bad on the back. It can hurt the ability of another guy to push you. Not the concern, though, right now. A couple of drivers sitting out back. Oh, looks like the 167 is going to pull off the track. That is William H. Scott. Don't think there's any relation between the two. Steven Scott and William Scott getting passed now by Autumn Koger. There's been a couple incidents. Tony Cox back here, but he's got a fresh car. I think he's sitting back playing it smart. Because let me tell you something, this is going to get really crazy. This is kind of the calm before the storm. As much as it doesn't seem calm. And we also are going to have a battle for the lucky dog. It looks like currently we have 26 cars on the lead lap out of 31 here tonight. Fortunately, Sean Lazone has retired. Danny Eshelman, after those technical difficulties, has retired. Sean Corbett looks like he is going to be fighting with Jason Maines. Chad Ross, one of those 3, hoping they can get the lucky dog. Oh, and they're going to start wrecking here, it looks like. Big wreck. Caution, back out. Got a lot of them sliding through the grass here. Let's go see who this collected. Man, these guys just like to choose to wreck whenever I'm trying to look at the stats. 71, or the 11 rather. It looks like the 71 from how beat up it is. But it looked like a pretty big wreck. You saw it start happening. And I see a lot of drivers totaled here. Let's see what happened. Oh, you see the 60 has already turned at this point, but I'm thinking it starts before this. Sure enough, this might just be a big stack-up effect. We're going to have to watch this from the chopper view, or the blimp even, to get an idea of what exactly happened. Let's try chopper. Let's try blimp. Okay, here we go. We're going to run this real slow, and we're going to look at, I think I want to, I'm not sure where it starts. We'll go to Jeff Merck, though, and see if it starts somewhere up here. 17 here in the middle. Jeff Merck to his outside, going 3 wide. Oh, the 17 just comes up the track right into the 60. Oh, he's still coming up the track, so they get together. Both of these two go into the wall. And now we're going to see him start piling up. Oh, the 55, just nowhere to go. 6 barely slides through. Nicely done. The 11 hard hit. 59, Mark Vondell. Can he slide through it? Oh, unfortunately not quite. Chad Ross maybe snuck through without too much damage. Jason Maines looks like he gets through it. 66 locks up. Unfortunately, it takes a pretty hard into the 60 side. John Mullahan. John may have just squeaked through it as well. Yep. Tony. Oh, did Tony get involved in this? We can take a look. I don't see much damage from this view. He may have snuck by. Oh, and I think he does. Driver of the 72 right here. Ooh, Tony picks the... Oh, he does get a little bit of sideswiped a couple times from the 59. Going to give him a little damage. Shouldn't be too bad, though. I think he'll be okay. That is what caused that incident. I want to ride on board with the 17. By the way, the 55, haven't really said anything. Did a pretty good job. Almost got through it. Unfortunately, got collected. That was Mike Davenport. But I want to go ride on board with the 17. So, no, it wasn't the 17, rather. Excuse me. It was Jeff Merck and whoever he was next to. Was it TJ? It might have been TJ Robert. I'm trying to figure out who this was here. It doesn't exactly make it easiest. Yeah, it is Newingham. Oh, Bryant Newingham. That's who it's going to be. It comes up. Let's ride on board with him and see. Maybe just sometimes you get that tunnel vision. Maybe he thought he was clear up top. Yep, just kind of steers up. Once you get hooked initially, it's just really, really hard to recover it. Hits the tire barriers. Maybe saves himself from a little bit worse damage there by hitting the tire barriers. Well, let's go back live now. Where your current leader is Nash Brambilla in the 23 second. It's going to be Ken McCall Jr. in the 03. Danny Barnes third. David Sheets fourth. Rounding out the top 5 has been there all night. Steven Scott Jr. If you're just joining in, you're watching FEG-PC Speedweek. We had the ARCA race last night. Tonight, we're here in the Xfinity Series. Tomorrow, to end it all off, the biggest race of them all, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. $4,800 payout. I believe it is a 120-lap event. I will be over there in it. And if you're not in it and you want to, go get yourself in it. You can join the FEG-PC Discord below in the description. That race will be overstreamed and broadcasted by Joe White on OSRN Network on YouTube. Make sure you go watch him. Does a great job. And we will show you the advertisement for it right there real quick. Exciting event. Winners of the heat, first and second rather, of that heat will also be getting paid out again. Keeps it exciting. I remember some of these drivers initially said at the beginning of the season when I was talking to them, said, you know, I just don't, we like the racing on the heats. We're just not a fan of that extra racing when there's no prize for it. I think Jeff took some of the drivers' feedback maybe, or just knew that that's what they wanted. Decided to put some prizes in here for the heats, made the racing better for the drivers and for you guys watching. Got a lot of people in here watching tonight. Appreciate you all being out here. Bryce in the chat letting you guys know he's really trying to hit 400 followers. Do it for him. And if you like this broadcast, give me a like. Helps me out. Oh, Ambrose Kniebel is going to pull off track. Nope, pulls back on. Green flag is back out, though. 25 laps to go at Daytona. Nash Brambilla with a good jump. He's going to have to fend off a charging McCall Motorsports lineup of Ken McCall Jr. and David Sheets on the outside. Daniel Eberhardt a little farther back. He's got a couple teammates, but he can't go 3 wide just yet. I think when he does, though, they're going to have to be real careful there in McCall Motorsports. That's going to be the 9th. Actually, maybe all 4 of them are lined up. Looks like Briar LaPratte isn't up there, but I see Kyler Wynn, Daniel Eberhardt, and Dylan Jones. Down the backstretch, so for the first time, Ken McCall Jr. gets way clear. It looks like he is going to also be able to bring his teammate, David Sheets, with him. What do they decide to do? No move yet. Now looks like Ken's going to drop down. And here we go. This is what we've seen before. David Sheets going to stay on this top line. These are where the team games start to be played. David Sheets maybe remembers a little bit that he couldn't quite get second in that second heat. Maybe felt like he deserved it. I'll leave it at that. Either way, though, he's going to stay in this top lane. Daniel Eberhardt pushes him clear, though, so he's got to be careful. If he gets too clear, that 90 will jump down low, and I think once the 3 wide rule is no longer in effect, think those three are going to jump up top, leave David Sheets in the dust. You see just how hard the pushing is right here from NASCAR and Billa on Ken McCall Jr. Farther back, you're looking back at Dylan Jones. Bland car. Just a white paint scheme tonight. He likes to be sneaky. He told us a couple nights ago. He doesn't want you to know he's there until the end. David Sheets got to be careful, a little high right now. I think he's trying to anticipate a potential move from Daniel Eberhardt. Field comes screaming across the line. 24 to go. Further back, Jason Maines playing it really extra cautious right now. He has to. Doesn't have the luxury of a fast repair anymore. Kyler Wynn doesn't either. He doesn't seem to care. He's up here, that third car on the outside. Sometimes to win it all, you got to go for it all. There's the 3-wide move. Unfortunately, David Sheets nowhere to go. The 03 might jump high here to try to help his teammate. Sure enough, he does. You think teamwork doesn't matter here? Oh, Daniel Eberhardt jumps down. Jumps all the way to the bottom. That got really close. Dylan Jones still trying to gather it up. And they are an absolute mess right now. Got to be careful. Oh, he gets turned. David Sheets. Oh, he keeps it together. Got to save it here. Easy, David, easy. Wow, what a save from the driver of the 06. Let's go back up front to make sure they kept it all sorted out first. They do. Let's go back and take a look at this save from David Sheets. Are you kidding me? I thought we saw the save of the week last night. We might have a new candidate. I thought he was going head first into this wall. Right here, I started to worry. They were just all disorganized. Kind of 3-4 wide. Can't really decide. Dylan Jones maybe comes down a little bit. Oh, but the 20, Danny Barnes comes up, tags David Sheets real hard. Look how sideways the 06 gets. Comes back down, hits the 7 of Steven Scott Jr., but thankfully doesn't turn him back into the pack. Wow, look at his hands work. You can kind of see it through the windshield. Straightens this thing out, was laying down his own tire tracks. Wow, nice save by David Sheets. And he's going to be remembering that later in this race. When he is still up here, he's going to be saying, that's because I saved this car. That's how important it can be. Let's see how he's fallen, though. Unfortunately, did fall out of the draft, it looks like. Currently running with Ambrose Knievel. But if we get a caution, which I think we will, he will be back in it. Doesn't look like he has a lot of damage either. Maybe just a little bit. Actually, the side's pretty banged up. And with Ambrose being able to fly around him, that's probably a sign that that car is hurting a lot more aerodynamically than we maybe thought. Back up front, though, Daniel Eberhardt to his outside. He's got Kyler Wynn teammate Dylan Jones behind him. Nash Brambilla been hanging around that second place, second car on the inside. Now we see John Ward coming up top. Ken McCall Jr. is going to roll with it. What does Kyler Wynn decide to do here? Briar LaPrade also jumps to that third lane. Kyler Wynn, we've seen him throw some blocks when he needs to. I don't think he feels the need to right now. But the 43, you see it not able to get there. And that middle line's only got 2 cars right now. They are going to need to get some help to get it done. Down the backstretch, Ken McCall Jr. side drafting, really aggressive. Nash Brambilla maybe getting a little hot. We've already seen one engine blow up tonight from one of the guys you probably least expect to do it. Good push by John Ward. Ken can't quite get clear, though. We did see a single engine blow up last night in the ARCA series. Seeing one tonight, a little bit surprising. Usually a rare issue that doesn't occur too often. But we are 3 by 3 as we approach 20 to go here under the lights at Daytona. Who's going to win it? Dylan Jones up there in position right now. Second car in the middle lane. Briar LaPrade has now dropped to the middle. I think those 4, that is the 19, the 26, the 82, and the 90, I think they are all working together. You see on the track map in the top right, a lot more spread between the field right now. And if you are not in this battle with this 3 wide, I think you got to maybe lay back a little bit. And we see some of these guys doing it. The 17, Joel Blewett, William H. Scott, Raymond Rittenauer the second. Hasn't made too much noise yet tonight, but he is sitting back here. And I think I would do the same thing. You see this 3 wide action, maybe makes you a little nervous. Don't want to get too involved. Jeff Merck, Christopher McCall. And that looks like, oh, and we do have a second pack now. Tony Cox, Mark Vondell, Autumn Koger, Doug Pierce, and a couple others. Jason Maines. And I can't tell who this is with. That's Bryant. Yep. Bryant Newingham of Eugene, Oregon. Let's go back up front, though, where the action staying heated. That top lane gets a third car again now. The 43. We'll see what they can do with it. Each lane now with at least 3 cars. Should be able to make pretty good progress. tell you what, Dylan Jones has now, oh, I didn't even, we were back there looking at it, but you notice Kyler Wynn has taken the lead on the inside. That opens it up to Dylan Jones on the outside. And I thought maybe they would try to keep him up there to control the lane, but now they have 2 and 2. Better pushing overall. I think I like this move. 18 to go. I think once we hit 10 to go, maybe even 5 to go, teammates at a certain point start to go away. You don't forget about them, but you start to forget about them in the moment. A lot of drivers, though, that are further back are hoping we can get a caution. Ken McCall Jr. steps out of line again. His teammate John Ward follows there, also going to get help from a couple more cars. Looks like, I can't tell who exactly. I saw TJ Roberts and Danny Barnes. No, Danny Barnes. Who's the 43? Can't tell from here. It looks like that might be Brandon Arcario. Brandon Arcario. Yep, sure enough, Brandon Arcario. That Ken Block paint scheme. And this outside really hasn't made the progress I thought they would so far. John Ward's doing everything he can for his teammate, but they just haven't got the help yet from the guys behind him. Pushing will start to pick up. Daniel Eberhardt hasn't really had to push Kyler Wynn too hard. See them both locked up now. But once we get to the end, you might see him trying it just a little bit throughout the corners. You see how chaotic it is from just this view. Oh, I saw a little bit of contact there. That got really close between TJ Roberts and I believe it was Ken McCall Jr. Dylan Jones back out in front on the outside line. How about it? You guys said he couldn't go back-to-back. I think he begs to differ. The 11, TJ Roberts, getting aggressive, trying to get that outside going. It's not going to get any help from the McCall Motorsports boys. Always a little sketchy being the first one to make the move. You are not guaranteed help. And sure enough, they don't get any for now. I think if you really want to go to the front, you're going to have to follow that 03 and the 92. Kyler Wynn's paint scheme all dirtied up. Got in a wreck earlier, had to use a faster pair. That's why it looks like that. Still side by side. The 3 wide hasn't lasted that long. Most we've seen is go a couple laps. Ken McCall Jr. going to try it again. Oh, Dylan Jones wiggles. Taps his teammate just a little bit. Steven Scott Jr., that third car in the middle, has got damage. Hasn't affected him yet. This top line, though, looks like it may be starting to form for just a moment. Pack coming at you at about 190 miles an hour. Dylan Jones. Oh, now Briar LaPrade jumps to the outside. He's going to leave Dylan Jones. 19 should be able to get clear. No, he doesn't. Oh, and we're going to try it. Oh, looks like Kent thought about 4 wide for a moment. Thinks better of it. Oh, John Ward's in the wall. Looks like they're all going to go around him to sort it out. The 03 is going to lose his drafting partner for the moment. Going to have to find someone else to work with. John Mullahan sneaking around on the bottom lane. Made his way back up here. Nash Brambilla has not really moved. Daniel Eberhardt has now taken the lead back on the top lane with his wingman, Dylan Jones. On the outside, now here comes Steven Scott Jr. He's got a push from Ken McCall Jr. Briar LaPrade not looking like he really wants to work with anybody. Looks like he wants to be that lead car on the outside. The 7 jumps back in line. I think if they're going to want to get this third lane really moving, they're going to have to all work together and stick to it. We're coming to 13 laps to go. Time slowly starting to run out. Currently 26 cars still on the lead lap. That's a good number for what we started with tonight. 31 cars in the field, strong field. Everybody getting ready for the big race tomorrow. Daniel Eberhardt, Dylan Jones looking to go back-to-back on a 1-2 finish. Ken McCall Jr., you see it right there, is going to tuck out of line again. He's going to get help from TJ Roberts and John Ward. They just don't look like they want to stay committed to it for too long right now. Ken being one of the veterans in this series, you know he can kind of see the runs, see where he wants to take him. Oh, it just comes down. Makes way right in front of the 17. Joel blew it. Having a good night. Steven Scott Jr. jumps back out of line, and this is kind of weird. It's almost like you keep seeing it here. Everybody wants to go to the front. Nobody wants to help each other get there in that third lane. Boys, we're going to have to work together to get up there. Every time one driver pulls out, the other guy goes around him, and then he wants to go out of line. Oh, there's contact. Oh, they're going to wreck. Big wreck. Yellow flag is out. Ken McCall Jr.'s in at the 20, slides. Only going to collect a couple. Thankfully, Christopher McCall sneaks by. That looked like some contact. You saw the back end lift up. And hold on, we're not done yet. This will group everyone back up. Let's see. Looks like William H. Scott. Not sure if he was fully involved in this. I know Ken McCall Jr. was the primary one, I thought. Let's see if we can find him here. All right, let's see what happens here. We'll go to let's do TV. No, let's check out the chopper actually, because then we can see where this starts. Blimp rather, excuse me. Here we go. Oh, it already started here, so we have to back it up even more. So coming out of the turn here, the 03 looks like he's going to dart high. Oh, the 20, Danny Barnes comes up. That's the second time tonight that's happened. Comes up, doors the 19 who gets into the 03. Those three all collect each other into the outside wall. The 11, TJ Roberts, nowhere to go. He makes contact. And this wreck may have hopefully at least been isolated to just these three. You hate to see anybody get involved, but certainly don't want to see the whole field pot up. Unfortunately, look at the 03's front. That thing is destroyed. He's going to have to use a fast repair if he wants to have any chance of getting in the money at the end of this. So a 3-car wreck brings out what is going to be your 4th caution of the night. Only 3rd non-scheduled caution, though. We did have a competition caution that flew on lap 30. Up front, though, your current top 5 as they run is Kyler Wynn. 2nd is Daniel Eberhardt. 3rd, Nash Brambilla. 4th, Dylan Jones. And 5th, look who's made his way up here. Team 3 driver John Mullihan. We heard Chad Ross say the other night their goal is to take all the money. He's got a chance to do it. Unfortunately, Chad Ross got involved in a wreck early. You see him back here, not on the lead lap. But maybe he can get some luck, something crazy to happen. 27 cars now on the lead lap. Looks like, I think Jason Maines maybe the car that got his lap back. Danny Barnes did get an EOL, I believe. But up front, got a couple teammates. If nothing else, they've been working together all night at least. But I think they're going to go for the win. We saw them making some aggressive moves. Kind of looks a little interesting, doesn't it? How that 82's, he's got that nice red on the front where the grill is. But that thing looks like he went off-roading with it. Suppose he did earlier. We are going to run one more ad, and then we'll be done with them for tonight. Stick with us. Back live at the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. FEG-PC Speedweek, getting everybody in the mood for Speedweek in real life. Kind of miss Speed Weeks, wish it was still a thing. But let's get back to the matter at hand. Kyler Wynn trying to get the win. Daniel Eberhardt going to try to steal it. Dylan Jones, if he can, going to try to go back-to-back. Nash Brambilla's been sitting in that second spot on the inside for a little while. Under 10 to go. 3 wide rules off. Elbows out now. Everybody's going for it. Who's going to get it done? Green flag is back out. Kyler Wynn gets a pretty good jump, but so does Daniel Eberhardt. Ooh, and the 90 gets a really good jump. Inside still hasn't linked up. Dylan Jones has found his teammate. This backstretch is going to have a huge run for the 90 as it looks like can't quite get clear. Nash Brambilla is going to have to do the best job he's done pushing all night right here if he wants to hold him off. We see 3 wide further back already with the 87 of Raymond Ritnar the second. A lot of shuffling already. The 3 wide is already got 3 cars on the top. Looks like Christopher McCall now has made his way up here, trying his luck in that 3rd lane. Daniel Eberhardt wasn't able to get clear. Oh, we got some contact a little further back. Got to be careful with it. Everybody keeps it together, though. Making their way off turn 4, coming to 7 laps to go this time. How long will these front 6 stay in line? Christopher McCall is going to keep trying that outside until he either gets someone to go with him or goes to the front. Been kind of interesting tonight with that 3rd lane. Just haven't seen a lot of people really want to go with anyone going to it. Everyone wants to lead it. Feel like as long as you are on that outside line, top 3 in it, you have yourself a chance. But these guys not want any part of it tonight. The 90 gets a big run, but it's not going to be enough. And I think what we're seeing here with Dylan Jones not locking on. And believe me, we know he can push. We heard it from Daniel Eberhardt. But I think Dylan knows he just needs to keep his car cool here so when it matters at the end, he maybe has a little bit of an edge on that 23 car. With 4 cautions tonight, 3 unscheduled ones. I don't know if we're done just yet. Christopher McCall still trying everything he can. Only McCall Motorsports driver up here for the moment. Actually, John Ward to his inside. I take that back. On the bottom lane. And he has just not got much help yet. He might get some from a couple cars farther back. Looks like the 55. Mike Davenport trying to make his way up there. He is getting some help right now from the 19 of Briar LaPrade. Ooh, and the 7, Steven Scott. Oh, caution is out. Yellow flag, not sure exactly what this is for. Tony Cox looks like he might be in it, though, wherever it is. Oh, yeah, here we go. We got a couple spinning down here. Mike Davenport, he's involved. Front of that thing's all beat up. And now it looks like a bunch of them. That's what it's getting told. We're in it. It was not near the front. That is why we did not see it initially. But let's go see what happened. And I do apologize. Let me get this. Here we go. So let's go to the blimp cam. With these big fields, sometimes it is difficult to tell where these start. 06 David Sheets. This started ahead of them. And actually, since I saw Mike Davenport in it, let's go to Mike. See if this maybe started a little more where he was. Oh, wow. Yeah, we already have drivers piled up right here. So this is going to start with the 60 of Jeff Merck. It looks like Autumn Koger did get involved. She has had an unfortunate night for her so far. She was just getting ready to link up with her teammate there, Christopher McCall, on the outside. Oh, you hate to see this. Let's watch slow and see what happens here. I think the 60 ends up coming up into her, though. Jeff Merck in the middle here in this 60 car. Let's make our way into the turn. Actually, it looks like Autumn actually comes down. So it looks like Autumn actually works down the track. I take it back. 60 doing nothing wrong. They make contact, and when they do, gets them turned around. Looks like Jeff holds onto it for the most part. Autumn slides back up the track. Gets a lot of these drivers involved in it. And this is where we saw Mike Davenport in at the 167. Then further back, Tony Cox, Mark Vondell. Let's see. Oh, Tony's already sideways. Looks like he can't really slow down when you're like that. Oh, and he does slide in. Takes a pretty hard shot to the whole right side of that car. May not be as bad as it looks. We'll have to see. Autumn slide down the bank, and Jason Maines gets involved a little bit. It looks like the 06 of David Sheets, Ambrose Kniebel, Chad Ross, all working their way past it. This wreck happening at the back isn't going to shuffle up your top 5 too much. But we'll read them off to you anyway. First is still Kyler Wynn. Second, Daniel Eberhardt III. Third is Nash Brambilla. Fourth, Dylan Jones. And rounding out the top 5 is John Mullahan. SimCar owner, Team 3 driver. And it looks like we are going to have, I believe at this rate we would not have overtime just yet. This should be the last 2 laps of the race, assuming the pace car lights go off this next time around. If we have another caution, though, we will go into overtime. 4th unscheduled caution so far here tonight. It's been some pretty good racing. Didn't see as much 3 wide up front there, and the wreck actually happened a little bit more towards the middle / back of that main pack. Dylan Jones, I know he's thinking about pushing his teammate to a win. Daniel helped him last night. But he's also got to be thinking about the fact that he could go back-to-back tonight. Not only that, but if he does win tonight, he could go for the sweep. Something that I don't know if that has ever been done in FEG-PC history. But if you're just joining in, take a seat, get ready, because we're going to have a 2-lap shootout to decide it. If we take the white flag, we will finish it off. If they all pile up, so be it. However, if they do wreck on that first lap, we'll get another caution. Do it again. 35 people in here tonight. I want to personally thank you all for coming out. It means a lot. I hope everybody is enjoying. Got a couple exciting things coming up for Ghost Racing Network. Do have Fast Track Cup Series, I believe it's called again. I haven't quite set everything up for it. New league, though. I believe it is the Fast Track Cup Series. A lot of sponsors. Either way, that's starting up next Tuesday with the Clash. We'll be broadcasting that one. Really excited. We will be going to different tracks. Hope everybody is enjoying Speed Weeks. Looks like we are going to crank up the viewership here for the end. Everybody wants to get in and watch the 2-lap shootout. We had an exciting finish a couple nights ago. Wondered if they'd be able to beat me on how I commentated it. I got so excited I kind of laughed at myself when I rewatched it. And then I thought some of these finishes we might see in races like the one tonight, I might outdo myself on it. Nash Brambilla, I think he's pretty content where he is right now. If the top lane opens up, I'm not saying he won't take it. But he's sticking out inside right now. We got someone rooting for Doug Pierce back here. Says go 39. Doug's got himself in position. Unfortunately, looks like he's got some damage. Anything can happen, though. Remember, top 8 payout tonight. Pace car pulls off. We're going to do it one more time here at Speed Week. Green flag is out. Kyler Wynn, Daniel Eberhardt get an even jump. No advantage. This time the 23 is a little closer, but Dylan Jones trying to get his teammate clear before turn 1. He can't do it. Daniel Eberhardt's going to have to stay in the top lane now. Who makes the 3 wide move first? This is what it could all come down to. We will watch down the backstretch who pulls out first. It's going to be Steven Scott Jr. TJ Roberts now going to go with him. The 7 tucks back in line. Isn't going to be able to block the move. That's actually the 87. Raymond Rittenauer the second. Up front, the 17 tries to get out. Realizes he's not clear. Tucks back in line. That's Joel Blewett. At a turn 4, we will be coming to the white flag this time. Who is going to bring home the big money? A lot of moving around. Everybody keeps it together. White flag is out. One more lap here at Daytona. 82, Kyler Wynn still holding strong on the bottom. Up top, Daniel Eberhardt. Third lane being led by Steven Scott Jr. Can't make the charge just yet. Still side by side, no advantage. Will Dylan Jones think about making a move on his teammate? Does he stay tucked to his bumper? Christopher McCall now jumps out of line. Everybody still staying pretty nice and clean. We'll see if we make it to the line this way. Into turn 3. Still side by side. The 94 has no help up top. Now the 17 is going to back up a little bit. We'll see if Briar LaPrade goes with him if he makes a move. Off of turn 4 for the final time. Now the 17 goes high. He's got a little bit of run. They're racking out back to the line. It's a drag race. It's going to go to Daniel Eberhardt in the 90. Daniel Eberhardt gets it done at Daytona in a photo finish. How about that? His teammate won last night, but the Road to Pro driver gets it done tonight, and I think I just about lost my voice on that one. Oh my goodness. Holy, wow. And I'm showing that the gap on the win was a 100th of a second. Wow. What a finish. And in the famous words of Darrell Waltrip, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever? And he is going to do the signature we saw his teammate do, slide it right through the grass. What a finish. We're going to have to get interviews. Before we do that, let's go take a look actually at this finish. Normally we would save it for the end, but I can't wait on this one. It was too wild. Let's first here look TV1. Coming into the trial with that outside, starts to get a run. Kyler went on the bottom, being pushed by Nashbram and Billa. I thought they were probably going to get it. Wrecking out back. Right to the line, though. Dylan Jones locked onto his teammate. Oh, and look how close it was. Man. See if we can actually go frame by frame here. There you go. That's your finish right there. Daniel Eberhardt wins it by just about a nose. I got to think he's going to be pretty excited during his interview after that one. Awesome, awesome finish. Do you expect anything less? But we're going to be right back. Let's go get some interviews. Stay with us.
Hey, can you hear me?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back live at Daytona International Speedway. I have found your top two for the moment. Couldn't find Joel Blewett. We'll see if we can get him, though, before we end. First, I want to talk to second place finisher Kyler Wynn. Kyler, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, that was a photo finish. You almost had it. I thought maybe you'd get it being on the bottom coming into the tribal. Either way, though, you come home with second. How'd you get it done tonight?
Yeah, just really good teamwork from Dylan Jones and Daniel Eberhardt. They're great teammates, as usual. We pretty much controlled the last 25-ish laps of the race. It was fun.
Yeah, you guys were absolutely dominating the last quarter of that race. No one really had anything for you. We saw the third lane continue to try. Just couldn't get a run. Before we let you go, though, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, just the team, Reco Performance, and Factory Steps for being in the car.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is your second place finisher in race 2 of Speedweek, Kyler Wynn. And now we are going to go to your race winner, Daniel Eberhardt III. Daniel, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, last night your teammate got it done. Tonight you win it in photo fashion. How did you get the win there right at the line? I thought maybe Kyler was going to steal it, but you held him off.
Yeah, you just got to be at the right place at the right time in these things. You got to be up front. I like leading, and Dylan behind me. Like I said, Dylan's an amazing pusher. I big thanks to him. He's really, truthfully, he's the one who controls everything. I'm just the one who drives. It's almost like having two people in the car with you, just the guys behind you in a whole nother stock car. So, yeah, big thanks to Kyler. I mean, what a good finish. I mean, what a kind of good race, you know? I mean, heck, I mean, we didn't even have a green, white checkered or anything. We had to end the race green, white checkered, but yeah, we won the heat race and won this one. So that's what counts, I guess.
It absolutely does. It was a phenomenal race. You guys had a photo finish. Always makes it exciting. Love to see when nobody piles up at the line. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Oh, most definitely, Jeff Ford for putting this on. I got to thank the team and everything they do for me, Ryco Performance, just everything that goes on in and outs for what you do. You're doing a damn good job. Really proud of you for doing this, and just thankful for all the drivers showing up tonight and showing out. It was a big crowd, and so we'll be back tomorrow.
All right, and that was actually what I was just going to ask you. I was going to say I'm sure we'll see you guys tomorrow. Is there any goal going in tomorrow now that you and your teammate, I did hear Kyler that is your guys' third teammate, are you guys going to try to get him a win tomorrow?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's all about where you line up. When you have these big payouts with so many people getting paid, and you have the top 8. It doesn't hurt you to finish 7th. There's no reason to try to shove through somebody unless you're 3 wide, you know, and trying to make up a spot. There's no reason to go 3 cars and tangle each other up and ruin your race with everybody else's. And then I think Jeff calmed the field down a lot when he made the 50-50 rule. Nobody wants to split their money with anybody. You know what I mean? So coming to the end like that, and you got a bunch of spots, top 8, you're going to have a cleaner race at the end between the top 8. So it's all about where you line up at the end of these things. So if I'm lined up first or second or third or fourth, depending on who's in front of me, I'm going to work with them. I don't really care who it is, just trying to make it to the end of these things.
Well spoken indeed from Road to Pro driver and winner of tonight's second race for FEG-PC Speedweek, Daniel Eberhardt. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we were not able to get Joel Blewett here in the chat. One of the new drivers maybe just didn't know that we do interviews post-race. We did try. But what we can do is go over your results here real quick. You saw it first place went to Daniel Eberhardt the third in that photo finish fashion. Second, Kyler Wynn. Third, Joel Blewett. Fourth, his teammate Dylan Jones. Fifth, Nash Brambilla. Sixth, Briar LaPrade. Seventh, John Mullahan. Eighth, Brandon Arcerio. Ninth, John Ward. 10th, David Sheets. 11th, Steven Scott Jr. 12th, Mark Vondell. 13th is going to go to Jeff Merck. 14th is going to go to Dean Grob. 15th, Jason Maines. 16th, Ambrose Kniebel. 17th, Bryant Newmingham. 18th, Doug Pierce. And it looks like our results are not moving here, unfortunately. Looks like they've frozen on us. See if we can pull it up over here, if this might help. And sure enough, there we go. Where do we leave off here? 17th, Bryant Newmingham. 18th, Doug Pierce. 19th, Christopher McCall. 20th, Raymond Rittenau II. 21st, Ken McCall Jr. 22nd, Tony Cox. 23rd, Autumn Koger. 24th, Mike Davenport. 25th, Chad Ross. 26th, Danny Barnes. 27th, William H. Scott Jr. 28th, TJ Roberts. 29th, Sean Corbett. 30th, Sean Lazone. And rounding out the field tonight, who we saw have an issue mid-race, was Danny Eshelman. That is just about going to wrap us up here tonight. But before you all head out, I want to remind everybody of a couple things. We'll get this off your screen. Tomorrow is the big race. Daytona, 120 laps in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. $4,800 payout for that race. First place, $800. Second and third, $500. Fourth and fifth, $400. If you finish anywhere in the top 15, you are going home with at least $100. Don't miss out on it. Either get yourself in the race, but we are going to hand that off to OSRN. Joe White does a great job, gets the big races. He is going to be covering all the action tomorrow. Go check him out. I will be in the race. But thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to like. Follow us if you're new. It helps a lot. We had a lot of people watching. A lot of those people weren't subscribed. It helps us if you guys do. It means a lot to Bryce, who puts on so much for this channel. Thank you all for coming out. We will see you next time, and have a good one.